Welby. Hey, congratulations for Punch.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Thank you. It's got this most beautiful autumn morning here. So, are you in summer?
No, I'm in California, so we're drenched.
Oh, okay. uh,
So, Welby, hey, so tell us where the original idea came from for Punch.
my partner's death. I built this house here. I built this for us, and I loved him very much. And he had grown up in a boxing family. His father coached his sons, and his dad, and he was gifted. And his dad wanted him to go on and become, a professional boxer, but he walked away from it. He couldn't survive the intensity of everything, and he actually became he held the national title in New Zealand in the triple jump. He became a very well-known athlete, and he trained our national sprinters. But the relationship with his dad broke down terribly, and his dad was a good man. His dad was good. He grew up in a different generation, and he really loved his son. And I think Kevin loved him, but there was this breakdown because both men were flawed and good at the same time. And Kevin died of AIDS, and he didn't want his dad to know, and he kept it secret. And he was in the hospice, his dad found him, and he came to see him, and he couldn't touch his son. He just sat there, and his hand went out and touched the sheet. And that's why the bed, Jim, and the bed sheet, that's why the film has got underneath Punch, there's touch all the way through it, how a hand touches something. And in the end, he just cried. He didn't say anything. He just sat there, tears rolling down his cheeks, and then he left. And a couple of days later, I was talking to Kevin, because Kevin was very supportive of my filmmaking, but he always said, your trouble is you don't climb up the arse of the film commission, so you'll never get to make these films. And I thought, fuck it, and I said to him, there's a story in here about your dad, which is everyone's story. And I'd love to make a film based on this, but where the dad and the son, the relationship got to a different place. And fuck it, I did. It took 15 years of fighting to get that film done. But so I'm proud. I always think that when I'm sitting in a cinema somewhere in the world, he's there going, oh, well, you did suck up the ass of the film commission. You can't print that bit.
I didn't realize how personal and touching this story is that you crafted.
Yeah. And Fetu was based on the first guy. When I was at secondary school, I was a distance runner, and I was kind of like a golden boy at the school until I got expelled for being gay. But we had this guy at school who was Maori, and he was, today we would say, gender non-binary, and I thought he was so beautiful, but I was terrified of him. I was shit scared of him because he might spring me, But it's the first time I'd understood a man is beautiful. And he just moved like wind on the surface of water. He was the most incredible guy. And he got badly beaten up several times, actually. And so I found his equivalent in my job. So in my job today, I work with quite a number of takotapui of Māori gay young men who are doing their doctoral degrees. And I found him today. I found his version today. And so he was inspired by somebody who I was hugely attracted to. And that was why it was easy to write Jim's attraction to him, because Jim was fascinated and terrified and understood. So I wrote Fetu as the strongest man in the film. Sorry, that's a long answer to a short question, mate.
No, it's fine. And the themes of homophobia, because I know times have changed, but was this were you using like real life experiences, into the film like this?
It's a really good point you've made. So Jim says in the thing, he tries to explain to his dad, he said, you know, we all want to think it's rainbow flags and matching wedding suits, but it's not like that. Actually, in small towns, it's not like that. It's not. And we have this myth that we hang on to that goes, you know, everything's cool for gays. We all accommodate it. You try being gender non-binary in a small town, or you try being a gay guy who lives in a hyper-masculine world, and you come out. And it's very easy. We tell a lot of urban stories where everything's cool and we shop and we you know, but actually I wanted to show that that there will always be the stuff there, just like we can't say family violence is gone or racism is gone. Those things still exist. And in some ways you're pushing uphill against a comfortable myth that even some parts of gay society want to hold. And so when I did that, all those incidents that are in that thing happened within 5 years of that film being made. So they have currency. They just don't have the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And so people go, oh, it feels old. And you go and live in a small town for a little while. And so although I love small towns, and I tried to treat it also as a beautiful and unusual place, I love their timelessness. I wanted to create a town that felt like it could have been 1980, 1990, 2000, and it was punctuated with little bits of the absolute current, like a mobile phone device. Mm-hmm. But it had this beautiful, beautiful timelessness that it's harder to find in cities. But inside that timelessness, it exposed the fact that these things never go away.
Mm-hmm. Well said, well said. And you know, it's funny is I Googled your name and I see all these videos and that you're a professor. Could you tell how the path of professorship and TED Talk and all this kind of stuff led you to this film?
You know, I'm actually quite a shy guy. I'm quite shy, and I'm not. I just, how do I put it? Here you go. Try to do the very best thing I can with everything I do. I try to do the best I can. And because I couldn't read or write until I was 15, I grew up in a family where my dad used to tell us stories. And I love storytelling in whatever form. And although I read and write, you know, help people with their writing now, I grew up in a world of pictures. And so I teach narrative design. And I teach design because those are more sophisticated way of thinking is by images, and it just kind of stumbled. I don't promote myself. I don't ask people to do those things. It just happens in your life. And although I have to confess, I'm a guy who tries to say yes to things, even if it scares the living daylights out of me. I'll try to say yes. Is that I know it's a strange answer.
No, but you answered it. Well, one more thing, Welby, before I let you go, and I don't know if I noticed this, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. There was a scene with boys with wings, dancing, you know, dancing in a prairie. And then I went on IMDb and I just came across that you did a short film called Sparrow. Was that an Easter egg, or what was the intention of that?
You're so smart. It was I couldn't get the funding for the feature, and I thought I fucking won't let this die. So I made a short film which was the generation before, and it's based on a true story about a little boy whose dad wants him to box, but it was set back in the 60s, and in it, I discovered the flying with wings, because I used to make wings as a kid and fly. And I used to think I really could fly. So I took that piece from it because it was so fundamental. Actually, the film right at the beginning was called Flight. And so I opened it and he talks about the wings later on, he goes, I did fly just for a moment. So yes, I love people who do their research. Good on you. Yes, so it was, to use your term, a kind of an Easter egg. It wasn't the same story, but it had some themes and some approaches to filming and story construction that I was wanting to try out before I made Punch.
Well, good thing I came across. I don't know. I just sometimes we get lucky on our research, but we do our
It's-
research.
That's good. That's good. A man after my own heart. That's great. That's great.
Well, Welby, thank you very much for carrying this conversation. It is a wonderful, dramatic film, and people should definitely check it out for Punch.
Thank you, mate.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
see
you
you
for
later.
speaking. with us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.